Hello, it's Buzz the Bee, and today we're going to be talking about the civil rights activist Diane Nash. The civil rights movement is a crucial part in U.S. history that needs to be discussed. We have all heard the stories of Martin Luther King Jr. in his famous speech, I Have a Dream, and have also listened to Rosa Parks' story on the bus boycott. But now let's hear about an underrated story of the activist Diane Nash. But first, what is the civil rights movement? The civil rights movement was a social movement in the United States that tried to gain equal rights for African Americans. The movement is known for using nonviolent protest and civil disobedience. Activists used strategies like boycotts, protests, and marches in order to gain freedom and spread the word about the treatment of African Americans. The civil rights movement expanded from the early 1950s to the late 1960s. Now that we have this background knowledge, we can get into the story of Diane Nash and her journey with activism, starting off in her early life. Diane Judith Nash was born in 1938 in Chicago, Illinois. After graduating high school, she first attended Howard University, but transferred to Fisk University in Nashville in 1959. Diane experienced her first glimpse into racism while living in Nashville studying for her education. Nash, like many other African Americans, did not like segregation and began to seek ways to fight it. Nash later met Reverend James Lawson, and Lawson studied nonviolent protest movements from the past, including those by Gandhi. He taught these nonviolent violence workshops to Nash and others, and later Nash was able to learn tactics that would define the rest of her life. In February of 1960, she was appointed to lead the Nashville student movement in order to desegregate lunch counters. She also helped to organize boycotts in downtown stores where Black Nashville citizens lived. She and others began to organize sit ins within these restaurants to spread awareness. Because of Nash and other protesters in 1960, Nashville became the first southern city to desegregate lunch counters. Nash did not stop in Tennessee but continued to go to Birmingham, Alabama, and then later Birmingham to Jackson. She became one of the founding members of the Student Nonviolence Coordinating Committee in 1961. This group was important to the civil rights movement throughout its course. She also was on the front lines as a freedom rider. Violence soon stopped the first freedom ride in Alabama, but Diane insisted that they keep going. They did not let violence ruin their cause. In 1961, Nash left college to become a full-time activist for the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. She continued to work with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It was in this new role that she played a larger part in the 1964 voter registration campaign in Selma, Alabama. Nash was also appointed to the National Committee by President John F. Kennedy, which promoted the passage of Civil Rights Act in 1964. Throughout the course of Diane Nash's life, she's continued to inspire and empower many people that she's encountered and interacted with, which has made her a notable part in U.S. history. Some of her most notable accolades are receiving the Distinguished American Award from President John F. Kennedy. She was the co-founder of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee and the leader of the Nashville 1960 sit-ins. She also received the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2022 and the Rosa Parks Award for Distinguished American Award for Leadership and the Freedom Award. From this video, I hope you have gained a glimpse into some of the unknown stories in our history today. Thank you for listening and keep learning. Buzz out.